Hey, what's going on? Welcome back. Um, One of the things I've noticed about this specific format is it can be difficult to keep up on it. It's actually way more work than I had anticipated. And even though on your end it looks like it's nothing, it looks like I just hit the microphone and go. Because honestly, that's pretty much what I've been doing. And I feel that is doing a disservice to myself and to anyone who happens to stumble across this. I look at what these crappy sports TV shows and sports podcasts and other podcasts they do, and they really come in not necessarily with like a script, but a much better idea of what they want to talk about. And I feel my version of this, where I pretty much come in with nothing, hit play, start recording, and just see where I end up, isn't really conducive for this format. Maybe it's better for one of those old radio shows, like you call in and we chat, and then we bring in the next listener and we call in and we chat and things like that. I don't know. That's obviously not possible now. With my 3 followers, and probably 2 of them are me on different accounts. Third one's the wife. And if my cat had one, I don't even think the cat would follow me if he had the opportunity to. I feel that's how he feels about me and what I am doing here. So I wonder if maybe I really have to reassess and reevaluate how I'm going about this. Is it better for me to come up with a script? You know? I don't want to do a script though. I don't want to have like a 15-minute pre-written out fucking thing. Like, if you ever watch one of those talk TV shows on TV, that's kind of a repeating the same thing over and over again. When you watch those like sports shows where they're all around, they're all around the desk talking, a lot of times they're on cue cards, or there's a teleprompter, and they're just repeating what was already determined that they're going to say. And that just feels so phony to me, especially when you're watching it. You're kind of under the impression that this is like just a conversation between a bunch of cool dudes hanging out, talking sports. And in reality, it's no. Everything about this has been pre-planned. All the jokes, all the, oh, hey, I think it was you who said last week that the Bulls, or whatever you want to talk about. Like, it's just so fake. And I don't like that. But it's also prepared, and it's very polished, and there is something to that. Maybe I'm dismissing that too quickly. Maybe I should spend a little more time brainstorming ideas and coming up with not necessarily maybe even more than topics. Because I've come in before here with some topics, some things I want to talk about, but they haven't really, I feel I haven't put the time in to really dig deep into them. I'm just kind of like spitballing, brushing the surface as if we're just hanging out in a bar, having a beer, and I'm just talking about it. We're having a conversation about it. Except the difference is I'm not with someone else to kind of have a soundboard back and forth with. It's just me. It's me, and then I'm responding to myself, and that's a very easy way to find yourself in this singular viewpoint where you're not growing, you're not evolving, and you're not really creating valuable content. Like, there's a reason why I feel the best books were written over a long period of time. They weren't just thrown together like in 20 minutes, like, boom, here's some deep thoughts, motherfucker. No, it's, these things are written down, edited, written down, condensed, edited, written down, maybe some more writing, maybe some more editing, condensed again, and then published. And obviously I'm not telling some long-winded story as like a book. There's no story. There's no through line through any of this, especially if you listen to it. If you listen to all of it, fuck, man, I am sorry. There is no continuity going on here. Even the microphone position has changed every time. Hell, even the app I'm using, not app, but the program I'm using to record it has changed every time. I feel like that is a sign of zero continuity. I'm even wearing different slippers. I got new slippers. This is the first podcast in the new slippers. So, like, nothing's the same. Well, the vape and the coffee, that's the same. So, there's something. And I'm the same-ish, I hope. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Yeah, I think I need to really bring on a co-host. I think that is what's missing for what I'm doing. For talking about not necessarily current event, but current event-esque style topics. I feel there needs to be some back and forth. I feel there needs to be some differing views. I don't know who would just want to listen to me. I don't even want to listen to me. Like, when I go to sleep, I listen to headphones. I listen to either like a YouTube video, a podcast. I used to listen to music when I was younger. Just anything. Well, actually, before younger, it was the radio, then music, then pop, whatever. Anyways, I don't even like listening to my own thoughts. I can't imagine anyone out there wants to listen to my thoughts. My thoughts are not constructed in a way thoughts should be. The connections I make are all over the place. Halfway through each connection, no, not halfway, every two connections, there's a little bit of shame going on inside of me of like, the hell is going on in my life? What the fuck am I doing? Yeah, so the fucking ponies, man. Were ponies natural in the world? Or did someone, kind of like, I can't think of the term, like, create them? Are they like, let's take this horse and this dog and together we're going to make a fucking pony? I don't know. I digress. That's the point, is that's how my connections go. They're just all over the place, and I feel that is not good for listening pleasure. And I'm not talented enough to be able to create a video showing how we got from point A to point B with some quick stops and points M, R, and T. It's Mr. T. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Because making a video of that, I'd spend 3 weeks making the video. And then we're back to the same problem we're having now of content not coming out fast enough. However, this one I do have an excuse for why this podcast came out like 2 weeks later, is because I'm on the free plan with Buzzsprout, and that limits it to 2 hours per month. So I have to even edit my format to make sure I can keep it under 2 hours a month. Especially if I want to do weekly episodes, because I do not have a large enough following at all to not value, to justify paying. It's just not there. If there was, I would pay it in a second. But I just feel right now it's not at that point. The podcast still has ways to go. Maybe if I get a co-host on, and we feel that we're starting to possibly, all right, this is starting now. This is getting better. We're starting to feel a little more confident about it. Feeling like, hey, wait a minute, maybe there is this little hole here, this little niche in the market that we can fit into. But that's the other thing. There's so many podcasts of just 2 dudes talking, or 3 dudes, or 5 dudes talking. Now they get like 8 dudes. Who needs 8 dudes talking? That's just too many dudes. Even it's too many dudes talking. Yeah, so if you just get 2 dudes talking, I can find 1 million of those. It's comical, the amount of people that just grab a mic and think that listeners want to hear to what they're saying. And it's not true. Like, I know no one wants to listen to what I have to say. So it's how do you find that little niche? How do you find that thing that you guys are doing different, that separates you from the pack, and you're not just doing 2 dudes hanging out, talking about the news? Like, who the fuck wants to listen to that? I wouldn't listen to that. Try to find that little niche that you can bring, you can do, and if it's not even if there's a hole in the market, that's to me that's the best things ever invented. It wasn't like they saw a hole in the market and were like, boom, we're gonna fill that hole. That shit's great. The best is when they create the new market, like the iPhone or the iPad. Not the iPad, and the iPad. When the iPad came out, everyone was like, "What the hell? Who the fuck wants a?" It's a giant phone. This is the stupidest thing ever. No, but like the iPhone, the iPod. I guess the iPod just kind of dominated the market, but the iPhone. No one. I remember when that thing came out. I didn't want that. What do you have to touch screen typing? That's a disaster. I like to be able to. I want to feel the little, my fingers on the buttons. I want to be like 222 777. Like just you could type without looking. I didn't need anything more because it wasn't like the internet was super cool on phones back then. It was very low quality. It was nothing like it is now. But they just created that. Or like, Ford with cars. He just was like, you know what? I don't want to take a horse anymore. I want to take a loud ass fucking engine and throw some wheels on it and no safety. A bunch of people are going to die, but whatever. I'm creating this. That's what I mean. He didn't make a better horse. He didn't realize people want horses with fucking like jet black hair or something. No. He made a whole different thing, created his own market. And that's what I need to do is come up with something different. Come up with something that's not here. And if it is, it's not being utilized correctly at all because I've never heard of it. And I doubt I'm going to come up with some like super original idea. It'll be like, ooh, podcasting from the roof of my building. What? Do you hear that wind noise? No way. That's crazy. Like, that's probably what it's going to be. Something so stupid like that. I don't want to do some shit where I talk to people in the street because I'd be really pissed if someone came and talked to me in the street. So I don't want to inflict that level of torture on a stranger. That's just mean. That's borderline abuse, and I believe you deserve to get punched. I wonder what we could do besides just two dudes talking. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I mean, I know who my best co-host would be, but we got time difference and shit, and I don't think he is the setup for it. So I'd have to find someone else. But what would we talk about? What would make things different? This reminded me of my other podcast I did, fake the stories behind songs, like VH1 behind the music, except it all was fake. I just made it all up as I went. There were some good moments, but overall it was very redundant. It was kind of one joke just being repeated over and over. So I still think that's a good idea to throw in once in a while. You can't be doing that weekly. It just became very, very old quite quickly if it was just repeated over and over again. But a buddy of mine was telling, when I told him that's what I was doing, he was like, oh yeah, my friends, they actually do the same thing, or they used to do the same thing with true crime. They'd make up these fake true crime cases and go into it. And at the time I was like, oh, that's a fun little, I like that. It's something a little different. And then I was talking to the wife and she was like, that's basically just like fiction. That's just like crime, mystery novels. It's basically all it is. They just were verbally making up like a classic detective case or a mystery novel, like someone died, dun dun dun. I was like, oh yeah, that is what it is. It's like fake true crime is mystery novel. Is what's the genre? Law and Order genre. Dun dun. I don't know. That's basically the genre now. Crime genre, fiction, crime fiction, fictional true. I don't fucking know. I don't know what the term is. I haven't been in a library in a while. That's not true. I've been in one recently. Yeah, actually, I'm in the library quite often. Not the library, bookstore. But I've actually been in the library quite recently, too. I did just get a library card, so... But the fucking one next to me closed down for like 6 months. I don't know. That's annoying. Yep. Yeah, so what... You see, this is where I would love to have someone else to bounce back with. Be like, what are you thinking? What should we do? I mean, I could just do the two dudes hanging out and pull a Trump and be like, this is the best, we invented this. Everyone's saying, Eric, you need to make a podcast of you and your buddy hanging out talking. Everyone's asking for it. So I gave it to him. You know, I got... Everyone was saying how much they wanted to hear me and my buddy talk about stupid shit. So that's what we decided to do because that's what they needed. And they all love it. And the ratings are phenomenal. It's doing the best. Some say it's the best podcast ever. Yeah. So I think maybe that's what we're going to end up doing. And maybe through that, we'll find a niche. Or maybe our niche will just be two dudes talking. Two dudes to TDT, TBT, two bros bonding, TBB. The old TBB, the two bros bonding, brah. The TBB, brah. Yeah, now I'm getting very distracted. Yeah, I don't know. Not too much deep thought in this episode. I have some topics that I'd love to touch on, but again, I just don't want to just give my opinion. Yeah, you know what? I'll message my buddy. Maybe we can set something up for next week or 2 weeks out. And, yeah, hopefully we'll have a new format. Because I feel one man ranting into the microphone just gets, can very quickly just become like old man in the yard yelling at young kids having fun and living their life. And I don't want to be that. I want to be the old man in his yard selling the young kids weed and beer and porn or something like that. I guess they don't buy porn anymore, but they still have to buy weed and beer and cigarettes. Mm-hmm. And now that in the U.S. cigarette age just keeps getting up older and older and older. They're really gonna need someone to buy them cigarettes, but maybe I'll push them on the vape shit instead, because it's like vape shit's 10 times better than cigarettes, man. My lungs still ain't perfect, but they're fucking better than they were. That's a fact. I should get sponsored by some vape shit. Anyways, I am going to leave it at that. I will be back next week, hopefully with a co-host. I will know that in a couple days. So if I don't have a co-host for next week, what I'm going to do instead is more of a 10 to 12 minute, not fully written, but a way more organized piece. Instead of just spitballing, I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to give that a try. You know, because at the end of the day, that's all this shit is. It's just trying stuff. Seeing what works, seeing what feels good. I'm not going to lie. Sitting here just talking and doing with no game plan at all, it does feel good. It's quite, I want to say therapeutic. Not carcinogenic. Carthutic. The fuck is that word? I know it. I'm just gonna call it cathartic. I know that's not the word. Cathartic. What the fuck is the goddamn word? Cathartic. I've said it so many times now that doesn't feel right. Cathartic? No, I think it's cathartic. Cathartic. Pretty sure it's cathartic. But it just feels wrong. Alright, well, we're going with cathartic. Probably right, but feels wrong, you know? It's kind of like if you're with someone who's above the age of consent, you're like, it's technically legal. It just feels wrong. That's how I feel with this word right now. Cathartic. It just doesn't feel right, you know? It just feels icky. Yeah, so that's how it feels. Yep. Alright. Well, that is it for today. I mean, just to give you a little teaser that the topics I really want to talk about are like everyone has already done to death Elon Musk and lying about his video game achievements. And I just kind of want to talk about, instead of just shitting on the dude for doing it, because it's beyond comical and sad, why? Because he's not the only one. I mean, there's a huge market for people who pay others to boost their characters or to carry them into higher leagues just to look cool online. Like, why is there this need for digital validation as opposed to real life validation? I don't know. I think it's just the world is becoming more digital, and I think that's sad. I mean, I spent a lot of time online when I was younger, and don't get me wrong, I had a lot of fun, but like that shit just goes away immediately. I feel anything I've done in real life kind of has more of like a lasting impact on me as a person and those around me. Whereas any accomplishment or achievement I've done online in a video game literally means nothing. It's like, especially now, especially there's like seasons and shit. It's like, oh yeah, fucking, season 2 in 2007. I was top 10, baby, on my server, of the East Coast server. It's just like so fucking stupid. And at the time, you can feel like it's important. It's not important, not at all. So why does the richest man in the world feel that way as well? Like, I feel bad enough that a bunch of little kids feel that way, that their shit online. Why are people spending fucking hundreds and now thousands, more than thousands and thousands of dollars on skins and fucking Counter-Strike and shit and other games? It's like, dude, no one gives a shit. You think this is important. This is not important at all. It's crazy. It all comes back to Chappelle when he was like, Twitter's not a real place. The online world is not a real place. And whenever you talk to people who they believe it is a real place, you very quickly realize, I'm gonna fucking talk to this person. This dude's weird as fuck. It's just, and it doesn't mean they're bad people or anything. It just means they spend too much time online and you make this fake shit real. And it's not real. And I feel like they fuck up their lives because of it. They're missing out on their lives by caring about their rank in a video game. I don't know. That's that was unprepared. I'm gonna hone that in. I'm gonna come up with the points I actually want to make. And on a side note, I have been reading a little bit. Let's not exaggerate here. I've been reading a little bit and starting to slowly watch videos on how to debate better. Because I did not do debate when I was younger. And I feel it's such an important skill just to be able to, not even necessarily the back and forth debating, but just the ability to be able to take your idea and support your idea. Like, you view something like, so me, I view that accomplishments, people put way too much value in accomplishments in video games in the online world. And I'm not very capable of defending my argument, like my belief that I don't think it's that valuable. So I'm trying to learn and get better at the ability to, okay, I believe this because this, and this. And just having to be more structured and having to be more. And then if someone's like, well, actually, I believe they are important because kids today are now spending more times online, so a larger part of their life, their whole age group, a lot of their society, a lot of their socialness, their social lives are online. So for them, it actually is more important video game on their online video game rank is actually a bigger deal for today's youth as opposed to my age. And they're like, oh yeah, that's a good point. I did not think of that. It's being able to just think of an idea and come up with both sides and structure it. And yeah. Anyways, I digressed again, like I do all the time. So I'm going to hang up now. And by hang up, I mean click stop. I will see you next week, maybe with a co-host, or maybe with I don't want to use the word with a more organized approach. I will not just turn on the mic and go like I did today and like I've done pretty much every time. I will treat this as if I will give this the amount of care and consideration and time that I believe it merits. I feel I've not been doing that, and that is unfair. So, I bid you adieu, and I will see y'all next week. Ooh, I burped. But I tried to hold it in so it didn't show up on the mic. So we'll see. If you heard a burp, it didn't hold. It didn't stay in. And if you didn't hear it, no, I just made my body feel weird for you not to hear that. Well, I'll see y'all later. And wow, that went red, me tapping on the desk? Oh man, so I can't even. All right, it might get really loud. Wow. I can't even do like a mini drum roll without it going red. All right, I'm going to go. Now I'm really digressing. Love y'all. See y'all next week. Toodles.